This video is going to give you 4 tips that Black Americans need to consider before becoming an international citizen, before leaving the U.S. for traveling or to live. These are 4 tips. So, my name is Sanaa Green, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm happy because I just came back from choir night where we were singing. Ooh, I love singing in choirs. It's been a long time since I sang in a choir, and it's just something that it just feels so good to sing in a group and hear different voices and the harmony. And there was this young band. The band was really good. They kept the beat going, and we did Shaka Khan, and we did another song by Stevie Wonder. It was so much fun, so much fun. But anyway, just came back, so I wanted to do this video. Let me tell you what happened. So I was watching Stephanie Perry's channel on YouTube, and she does a live broadcast every Saturday. I was watching. I usually don't comment on videos. Usually it's sort of like TV. I'm just watching. I'm not really involved. But I was watching her video. I made a comment about asking whether or not people should be celebrating Juneteenth in Portugal, which is one of the countries that helped to build colonialism. And what did I say that for? Because Stephanie Perry, she cut me to shreds. And I'll post the video down below. But I was like, oh my gosh, I just got so embarrassed after a while. I had to just turn the video off because, oh my goodness. But then as I've thought about it, she gave me some good points to think about. I have wanted to be an international citizen for most of my life. There's really only one continuing thread of something that I wanted to do, maybe 2. And one of those main things is to be an international citizen. I've spent time in other countries twice, and I'm getting ready to do this retreat in Ghana. And before doing the retreat in Ghana, I actually was following Stephanie Perry, and she created something called Exodus Summit for Black women and their families who want to move abroad, bop around, and travel and live other places. So I've been following her for a while. And I participated in the Exodus Summit, online summit that took place, I think, October of 2025. Stephanie Perry did a workshop on YouTube about how to build your YouTube channel. So Stephanie Perry, I'm using some tools that you taught in the workshop. It's about building my YouTube channel. All right, so there are 4 points that I was really able to contemplate, and I'm still contemplating them. And these are the 4 points that you need to consider before becoming an international citizen, if you're a Black woman, before you become an expat, leave the country and go someplace else. These are some things to consider. 1, don't leave the U.S. in bondage from in your ancestors, in dragging your chains behind you. So Stephanie Perry said, don't leave dragging your chains behind you. And that really makes sense. It really makes sense because I'm thinking about history. And she also said, don't get caught in the past. And so there was a time when to be considered awake or aware as a Black American, you knew about slavery and you had a certain feeling of fight in you because of what happened during slavery and then what happened during Jim Crow and how people were marginalized. And when I made the comment about Portugal, it reflects what I have learned. However, I'd like to expand my awareness and maybe do things a little bit differently now, because there is a thriving Black community in Lisbon, Portugal. It's Europe. And I've never really wanted to visit Europe. So, so I guess, but there's a place for everybody. It's not a place that I've ever wanted to go. I would like to go to Greece. And then there's some places like Crete where the goddess temples and religions have some founding and have some roots. So I would like to go to those places, but they're not really on the top of my list. Europe is not top of my list. So the whole concept of leaving your chains behind you, how much of the history of Africans in the US and in the diaspora, how much should I hold on to? I did another video about my father and his ashes being buried in this community in Ghana and all the drama that happened with that. So I want to be free. I'm claiming freedom. And Stephanie Perry said, if you're free, then you can exercise your freedom anywhere. If I am descended from the first woman who was found on Africa, the bones of the first woman, the original woman was found in Africa. So as a woman of African descent, there's no place that I don't belong. As a goddess, as an emanation of the light of God in me, as the incubator for bringing forth life, as a portal for, like a star portal, beings and souls come from other planets, other worlds, other dimensions into the woman's womb and are born. And so just like babies are born, ideas are born. And so if that is the truth of who I am, then is there some place that I cannot go or cannot belong in? What do you think? Comment below and let me know what you think. The next thing Stephanie Perry said was, the 2 was, I'm descended from the original woman. So that I already told you about that one. 3, if you're still living in the US, then you are probably conditioned by colonialism or some kind of patriarchal, segregated thought. And I know I am, because I've been raised in segregated communities. I was raised in Detroit, which was basically a Black city, and went to all Black schools. I've worked for Black companies. So I really haven't acculturated much with people who are not Black. That's just the reality. So that's a function of colonialism. In Michigan, in the Detroit metropolitan area, is very polarized, and communities generally do not mix. If there's a Black area here, an Arab area here, a Hispanic area there, a lot of times never the twain shall meet. Now, it was different. Like tonight at the song night, the choir night, there were people of all different races, and mostly younger, but there were some older folk there too. And it was great to see. So, like, maybe my concepts are based on the time within which I was raised. And maybe I don't have to be so marginalized. So she said, a lot of people are carrying their enslavers' names, and this is not true for me. But she said a lot of folks are living on communities that are named after plantations. Talking about about being in Africa, or you're not talking about colonialism in other parts of the world. I mean, really, all of the colonialists took notes from each other. So is there really a place that as a person of African descent, you can say, well, Ethiopia was never colonized, but many of us have been impacted by some form of racism or colonialism or patriarchy. So how long do I want to hold on to it? How long do you think we should hold on to it? How long do you think? Okay, so then the 4th one is that true freedom And reparations shows up as the ability to go anywhere. And when you look at people from the African diaspora, you put us anywhere, we're thriving all over the world. We are thriving all over the world. So do I have to be limited by Europe or any other place? Those are my 4 points. 1, don't leave the U.S. carrying your chains behind you. 2, you are descended from the original. If you're an African person of African descent, if you're a person, you don't have to be of African descent. If you're a person, you're descended from an African woman. So there's no place I cannot belong. 3, so that was 3. That was 2. Now 3, if you're still living in the U.S., then you are impacted by colonialism or racism. And it's not just in Europe. And you should not believe that you're limited by what has happened in the past. 4, true, oh, I only got one fingernail. Okay, anyway, don't try not to look at that. 4, true freedom and reparations is the ability to go anywhere and feel comfortable, and to not let anyone make you feel as if you're less than or that you don't belong there. That's what true freedom is. And really, when being an international citizen or traveling, leaving the country, for me, that's what it is. It's an exercise of freedom. I'm free. I'm sovereign. There's no reason why I should stay anywhere that I don't really want to be. So thank you, Stephanie Perry. I'm using the techniques that you told me from Exodus Summit, which are to reference the person whose video that you want to align with. Stephanie Perry, Exodus Summit. Say their names for the algorithm. So thank you so much for your comments, and I'll make sure I don't comment again. Don't comment no more. But to me, it really is a point, those are points of discussion. And that's a new perspective that I'm willing to entertain, because I think her perspective shows a difference in generations. And I'm willing to expand to have a new idea. So thank you, Stephanie Perry. So those are our 4 tips. My name is Sanaa Green. You can follow me at The Past Lives of Black Folk. And if you're interested in learning more about the things that I do, I talk about the ancestors, and the ancestors not just in my lineage, my minerals, but also ancestors in other lives that I've lived on other planets. I am here to reestablish the divine feminine in the world, and I do that through helping to share all of the pieces that we are, all of the dimensions that we are. So not only am I Black American who wants to spend time abroad, but I'm also a healer, a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner. I have recalled other lives. Some of those lives have been in other parts of the world, of this world, and some have been in other worlds. And that's my reality. So if you would like to learn more about the Oracle deck that I created or any of the stuff that I do, please like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks. Bye-bye.